Hi, I'm Dennis from Plain Truth Ministry. Welcome to Friday in the Word. For the last couple of weeks, I've been reading the book of Ecclesiastes, written by King Solomon, as he speaks about wisdom, knowledge, vanity, all of those things. He's reflecting on a life of leadership and of folly and of finality. In chapter 2, he talks about the end of wisdom, the end of the wise and the fool. And I want to look at a couple of passages from that chapter. I'm going to start with verse 12 through 14, which read, "Then I turned myself to consider wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do who succeeds the king? Only that he has already done. Then I saw that wisdom excels folly, as light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walks in darkness. Yet I myself perceived that the same events happen to them all." In this passage, we see Solomon reflecting, knowing first that his kingdom came from his father David, and much of it was already in place. David had done a lot of the heavy lifting, and Solomon took over and reigned after him. And then someone would reign after Solomon. And I think what he's talking about here is how do we take, how do we work with what we are given? When Solomon took over the throne, he asked God for wisdom to rule his kingdom well and to be fair to all of the people who he ruled. So what he wanted to do was to take everything his father had built and continue in that and build it further. And he contrasts a wise man and a fool here, that if two men are given the same thing, and one is wise and one is a fool, the wise man will attempt to see himself as a caretaker, as a steward for all that he's been given, and he will try to build on that, taking the lessons that he's been shown and try to continue in the good things that were given to him to rule over. The fool will not. The fool will take on the kingdom as his own, take on whatever as his own, and he will treat it as if he is the first one ever to have had a part in a kingdom. He may tear down everything that was there and try to build whatever he chooses to build in his own image. He is walking in darkness. And what Solomon's saying here is that light excels darkness and wisdom excels folly. In other words, Solomon sees wisdom as taking the kingdom that his father has built, using the lessons that his father has provided, using the template that his father provided, and finding ways to take all that was built and to build it further, to better what he was given. The fool, on the other hand, who is in darkness, sees nothing of what his predecessor has given him and says, I'm going to take what's here. I'm going to use my own mind, not take advice from anyone who was before me, not take wisdom from anyone who was before me, and I'm going to trot over this land as if it had never been trodden on before. It's all about legacy. It's all about legacy. And Solomon sees wisdom as using what we had before and what was right before to continue forward. The fool sees no value in what was before and wants to recreate what is new in his own image. We need to think about that